Welcome to Loving Life's Journey with your host, Linda Wilson. Loving Life's Journey is a heartwarming show that explores the simple pleasures and profound moments that make life worth living. Linda will share stories of hope, resilience, and the power of human connection, celebrating the joys that bind us together. Loving Life's Journey is your invitation to revel in the beauty of everyday miracles and the love that surrounds us all. So now, please welcome the host of Loving Life's Journey, Linda Wilson.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Welcome to Loving Life's Journey. I'm Linda Wilson, your host, and I'm so glad you've joined me this morning. Today, I wanted to kind of give you some self-care tips and talk about different things about self-care. There's a lot going on in the world, whether it's related to politics or anything else, and we need to be very attentive to ourselves and what we need so that we can be the best for the things that we're doing. So I want to give you a little history for those who don't know me. Out of necessity, I'm an expert at self-care. And after my second open heart surgery, I lost my voice. And for 18 months, I had to scream to be heard at all. And I had surgery to put in a vocal implant, which is why I can talk now. And after that surgery, I aspirated, I got pneumonia, and I died. And, they brought me back, and then I got a superbug. And for 5 months, I fought for my life. I had to be resuscitated several times during that period. And I did die at least once. I've heard up to 3 times, but once is enough. When I finally got to come home, I had to relearn how to be around people and interact again. And then in that time after I came home, I lost 5 family members over 4 years, including my husband, and I went into deep, deep depression. And I've had to learn how to care for myself because after my husband died, I lived alone, and there was no one who could give up their life to come take care of me, and nor would I expect them to. But it was a long, tough road. Now I'm blessed. I've got a great support system. I had a lot of help, but there was a lot of things I had to do for myself. And I'm not telling you to get your sympathy. It's just, I want you to understand that self-care is essential. Now, we've heard the spiel before, put your oxygen mask on first. You can't pour from an empty cup. Self-care is critical to your physical and mental well-being. And I get it, we all have busy lives. But as we're approaching the retirement age, I could retire next year. I don't intend to, but I could. But as we're approaching that age, we're looking to enjoy more time with family, more time traveling. We're doing what we've been waiting our entire lives to do. And it's essential that we look after ourselves so that we can enjoy that second half of our lives. Now, when do we take time to care for ourselves, and how do we care for ourselves? And I think we'll all agree the fact is most of us don't. And that's got consequences. Let me give you an example. My husband worked for the city of Denver, and his super busy time was from the end of March through the end of October. He worked really long hours during that time, and he rarely took time off. One year, he lost 500 hours of PTO. Oh my gosh, because it was use it or lose it, and he would never use it. He kept saying, I can't. So even when he was sick and had surgery, he didn't use it. And he lost it. 500 hours. Think about that. That's like 3 months. Oh my gosh. I let him know I was not pleased. But after that, he started taking the month of December off because he didn't have any work that needed to be done in December. A lot of his busy stuff was done outdoors. So December, they weren't doing fire physical ability training. They weren't doing those things. So he'd take the month of December off and he would relax. And we did things like we took cruises. We were completely able to unwind and just get away. Now, I understand that taking cruises is not in everybody's scope. We were able to do that for a time because we knew that's what we were going to do, and we had the whole year to plan and pay for it. But mostly what we were able to do was get our time together and relax and just get back to being the two of us instead of all the other things going on. So think about it, we don't expect someone else not to take care of themselves. If you've got a friend or a family member who has an illness or has an injury, you expect them to look, to make sure that they're not doing things they shouldn't do, right? But when it comes to ourself, to me, to we usually let it slide. And I know I'm guilty of this, and self-care is my specialty, right? It's what I preach. But I find I don't practice it as often as I should. And so I can usually justify why I don't. And the only worst thing than an excuse is a really good excuse, right? But the truth is if we don't take care of ourselves, we have nothing left to give. And so think about this for a minute. What do you do for self care? What do you do for you? Now, my mom worked in a nursing home hospital when we were in school, the equivalent of hospice today, but back then, the only way her patients left was when they died. And she'd come home so tired and so drained every night from work. And she'd come home at night, she'd fill the tub, and she said, I don't care if the house is on fire. For the next 30 minutes, I'm not here. And that was her version of self care. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't big, it was expensive. It was quiet, serene, and private. And it was how she refreshed, recharged, and then refocused from work to family. So if you feel crushed for free time, what small, simple things can you do to help refreshen you? Now, one of the things I like to do is sorry, brain fart. Sometimes I'll just take a walk around the backyard. Now, I'm not caring for anyone anymore. No one's caring for me. So I can take more than 2 or 3 minutes at a time. But there are ways if you're looking after someone or your job is to be a caregiver, um, or you're just that kind of person that reaches out to help people. There are small, inexpensive ways to get self-care that doesn't have to be the big vacation, doesn't have to be the day at the spa. Most of us don't feel we have that kind of time to free up right now. So some of the things you can do, I mean, no matter where you work, no matter what you do, everybody gets a bio break. So when you take your bio break, take an extra moment and just kind of take a couple of deep breaths and center yourself. Get back into being you, being present in the moment, and allowing yourself just a couple of moments of peace. Now, I get it. If you work in the ER, if you work in the surgical area, if you're working in ICU, if you're working, maybe you're a first responder, if you're police, fire, if you're working with the kids. My friend today is subbing for the ECE kids, the early education kids, and yeah, I get it. You hardly get the bio break, and you certainly don't get to just kind of shut down for a few moments. So there are ways when you're not physically engaged that you can just take a quick second and just breathe, just put some calmness back into your life. Now, one of the things I used to love to do, and I don't do it so much now, but I used to love making chocolate chip cookies. And the part about making chocolate chip cookies for me was the batter, not so much the outcome of the cookies. And that was something I could do. And if I broke it out over time, make the batter one day, put it in the fridge for a day or two, and then cook the cookies, then I didn't have to have hours and hours set aside. But the best part about the cookie batter was the cookie batter, and I usually ate more than I cooked. But my friend likes to work in her garden. She loves getting her hands into the dirt and making beautiful things out of the dirt and bringing her garden to life. It doesn't have to be a big, grandiose, time-consuming thing. Now, Dr. Robert Cialdini talks about the small big, that smallest thing we can do that gives you the biggest value. So what's a small thing you can do for yourself that will give you some self-care? Um, One of the things, my aunt did this for my mom, but she found the engagement pictures of my grandmother and my grandfather, and she made my mom these mugs. And after mom passed, I took the grandma mug. This is Matilda. And so I can have my hot chocolate, I can have my hot tea. I don't drink coffee, but I do like warm beverages. I can have it in this mug with my mom and my grandma, and I can feel a little bit closer to them. Um, some of all of my all of my jewelry means something to me. So I've got mom's the mother's ring we got her. So it's got all four of us, and none of the jewelry I have is worth any money. That's not it. It's the sentimental value. I've got these rings that I wear from Touchstone, and it just so happens that they kind of match up with the birthstones of my husband, me, and my son. So this ring is my family, my immediate family, all in one place. I've got all of these different items on my necklace. The necklace itself means a lot to me because I went to Catholic school, and in 8th grade we had confirmation and then graduation, and my aunt and uncle, my godparents, got me this necklace. It's 14 karat gold. I've had this since 1975, so I've been wearing this necklace for 50 years. And it's not that it's got a monetary value, but the sentimental value is there. It's the first real piece of jewelry I ever owned. And, this L, my friend bought me a necklace with my letter on it, so I put it on here. This is my mom's St. Helen badge, or her, excuse me, raw voice this morning. This is my mom's name was Helen, so this is her St. Helen pendant that she wore. This was something that my aunt's family gave me when she passed away on my birthday, and it's Australian opal. So all of my jewelry has meaning to me, so I wear it and keep it with me, and that's one of the ways that when I need a little bit of self-care, I can, I've got my family here, I've got my family here, I've got my family here, and that pulls me in together. So when we come back from the break, we're going to go over some tips that you guys can try to look after yourself. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness: Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're getting value out of the show today. If you are, please give us a like and a follow and a share. And today I'm sharing some tips for self-care. It's a busy time, and the holidays are fast approaching, so the busy time is going to get a lot busier. And we just need to kind of learn how to step back and take some time for ourselves. And it doesn't have to be, I think people have the impression that self-care has to be something large, like a big vacation or a day at the spa or several hours, at the golf course or whatever. And a lot of us don't feel that we can take that big chunk of time, especially if the work you do is looking after someone else. If you're working in an office, they're not going to let you just take you know, whenever you feel like it and go get your nails done, go get your hair cut, go get get the massage to get the knots out. I've been working in front of computers for probably, the last 30 years. And I can tell you that the shoulders and the neck get real stiff. And there's nothing I would love more than to get a massage up here and get those knots out. But usually that's just not I don't make time to do that. During the break, did you think about some things that you can do for self-care? What kind of things did you come up with? I know my friend loves to get her nails done. To me, that's kind of a rare kind of torture, so I don't, but she loves to get a mani-pedi. My sister loves to get a mani-pedi. I like a massage. Um, but one of the things I found, especially when I was still working in corporate, is that I could take my break and I could go take a walk outside and either walk around the parking lot, or our building was right, like, the next street over was the neighborhood. So I had 15 minutes. I'd go out and take a quick walk into the neighborhood and come back in. It gave me time to get some sunshine because we get lots of sunshine here in Denver. It gave me a chance to get some fresh air. It gave me a chance to step away from the work environment for a few minutes and clear my head. And I found that when I did those kind of things, when I went back to my desk, I could focus again on the problem I was working on, or the project I was working on, and I would have a much clearer head. So if you're working and you're getting stuck on things, allow yourself a couple minutes for a break. Now, depending on where you are and what you do, if you can't get up and leave your desk or leave your work situation, just find a way to mentally step aside just for a moment, just for a moment. A lot of things that people do, you have to be very careful how you do that, but you still can. You can still release your brain just for a second and bring some light and some freshness back into your body. Um, so there are some self-care practices that I have used and found over the years that have helped me quite a bit. And one of them is exercise. Now, we know that exercise is essential self-care activity, and physical exercise is going to help you relieve stress, it boosts your energy levels, and it improves your mood. Sometimes I'm going to clarify that because sometimes exercise does not improve my mood. Yeah, but regular exercise like walking, Pilates, yoga, or some other physical activity that you enjoy doing can help you reduce your stress. So, kind of think about the kinds of exercise you'd like to do. And do you have time at the beginning or the end of your day, or even over the lunch hour, to fit that in? When I was working for Kaiser, we had a gym in the building that I worked at. So on lunch break, or I could come in early, or I could stay late, and I could go down and I could walk on the treadmill, do Pilates, work out in the gym. That was a lovely perk. I think more and more companies do things like that. I know my nephew works for Gallup, and they have some amazing things in the building out there that their their employees can take advantage of to break up their day and help clear and refresh their mind. Um, One of the other things, now I'm not a breathwork practitioner, but I love to use the practice of breathwork. And there's this really simple exercise you can do. Now, if you're driving or if you're doing something where you cannot close your eyes, don't do this now. Go back and watch it and do it later. But short, simple exercise. So close your eyes. Put your feet flat on the floor. Take a seat. Put your feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. 1, 2, 3. Hold it for 1, 2, 3. Exhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to do it again. And on this time, when we breathe in, we're going to bring our arms up. So inhale, 1, 2, 3. Bring your arms up. Hold 1, 2, 3. Exhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3. And bring your arms down. Hold 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, arms up. Hold 1, 2, 3. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3. Bring your arms down. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Hold 1, 2, 3. Out. 1, 2, 3. Hold 1, 2, 3. Now, open your eyes. How do you feel? Do you feel a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more at peace? Now, when you do that on your own without me counting for you, that's 36 seconds. Okay? We should be able, excuse me, in our day to find time to do 36 seconds of breathing. Now, excuse me, my allergies. Again, you don't want to do it when you're driving, but I have been known to do the breathing part when I'm at a red light, when I'm stuck in traffic. I don't close my eyes, but the breathing still helps me settle and calm and gives me that feeling of peace. So that's 36 seconds. I'm sure you can find 36 seconds or break it up and do two 18-second, do 2 rounds, 2 breathing sessions. Just kind of help your body to settle. So one of the other things you can do, excuse me, just a moment. The early morning hours. One of the other things you can do is either meditation or prayer. Now, whatever that looks like for you, um, I had a friend in the Phoenix area that had one of those triangles on her back porch, and they would go out and sit in the triangle in the morning, watch the sunrise, and do meditation or say prayers and just kind of welcome the day and calm. If you have got time where you can get up a little early or set some time aside before your day starts, that's great. If not, even when you're at work doing what you can do, doing what you do for work, you can take a moment and just, if you have a mantra, a lot of times I use the one, I am at peace, especially if I'm working and it's very stressful. And I just take a few seconds to take a deep breath in, exhale, and say, I am at peace. And it helps calm the body down, helps slow the body down a little bit. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't respond to things quickly. It just means that I'm not running on my last nerve, and I'm not pushing my body on my last nerve. Um, you want to make sure you can get some sleep. And I know as we get older and even younger people, it's like, sleep, yeah, when, how? Um, you need to find ways to get the rest. Now, there's lots of natural things that you can take or utilize to help you sleep. One of my favorite ones is I put lavender on my pillow at night, and that helps. Lavender is very calming, very soothing. That helps me sleep. I also, because of some of my conditions, I take trazodone, and so trazodone helps me sleep. The best thing about the trazodone, at least for me, is if I wake up in the middle of the night, I can go back to sleep. And when I get up in the morning, even if I don't get my full 8 hours, I'm not groggy. It doesn't give me that hangover that some of the other sleep medications do. And obviously that's something you need to work out with your doctor, what can be helpful. Um, you know, my mom's secret to sleep was she got Till or one of her other mugs. She had a mug of hot chocolate every night. It could have been 100 degrees that day, but she had her mug of hot chocolate with little marshmallows on top. And then she went to bed and she slept very well. And she did that up to her pretty much her dying day. And so that was a routine that worked really well for her. My dad, when he was around, he would do that too. And there's lots of different things. Read, reading for me, I read in bed. And so then when I need to read for other things, I have a hard time because reading helps put me to sleep. So I have to plan my reading time a little bit more carefully. Now, personal time is kind of hard when we're so busy, but can you carve out a little bit of time for yourself? Do you like to do puzzles? Do you like to garden? Do you like to knit? Do you like to ride your bike? Do you like to go for walks? Do you like to paint or draw? What do you like to do? Set aside a small block of time every day to feed that part of your soul. Um, and treat yourself. Do the things that make you happy and that feed you. One of the things I've had to do to help keep me happy is to stay off of social media. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm finding it harder and harder to find things that do not suck my energy and suck my soul on social media. And there are ways to get around that. There are ways to, a lot of what I do is on social media, so I have to be on there. So I have to protect my heart and my brain while I'm on there. And there are ways we can do that. So when we come back, we'll talk about a couple of things you can do in that arena. Don't go away. We'll be back in a few.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. I love Wednesdays. And not because it's the middle of the week. I love Wednesdays. I get to spend my time with you. So we've been talking about different ways that you can get self-care for yourself. And the reason it's so important is because no matter what you do and who you do it for, if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to do that. And one of the things I used to try to get through to my clients when we talk about their self-care routine is, you got to do it for you. Well, a lot of people in caregiving fields, or they're in the caregiving space because that's where that's the family situation or the situation that they're in, don't respond well to, you got to take care of yourself for you, because they're so other focused. So what I've started working with my clients is, you need to set aside time to take care of yourself, because what happens to your family if you're not able to do what you do? And it's sad, but that gets through more, and that's because they're outer focused. So remembering, it doesn't really matter the reason that you take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. If you've got family depending on you, what happens if you get sick, or worse, if you're gone? The family that you're taking care of doesn't have a backup plan, right? So bring people in, let them help you do that work that you're doing, so that you can get a little bit of time for yourself and to refresh yourself and to take care of yourself, so that you can be the best for the people and persons that you're taking care of, or that you're interacting with. Whether it's at work, if you take pride in the work that you do, you need to take care of yourself so that you can continue doing that work and have the pride in the work that you do. We were talking about, how social media can be a lot of fun, and it can also be very soul-sucking. It really can, especially right now. There's so much going on, and so much of what I do goes through social media. So I don't have the option of saying I'm not going to be on social media anymore. I use social media to stay in touch with so many people, my family, friends that don't live near me, and that's not really an option for me. I don't wanna have to cut it off. I don't wanna feel that it's an all or nothing kind of thing. So what I do is I'm a lot smarter about the time I spend on social media. Now, for a while, at the beginning of the year, I allowed myself to be dragged into all of the drama and was constantly looking at the posts that were talking about the politics. And social media is very cunning. If you open things, it says, "Oh, you want to see more of that." Well, I didn't want to necessarily see more of that, but I got more of that and I kept looking at it. So one of the things you can do on social media is if you're seeing a lot of stuff that you don't want to see, like for a while I was going in and I was clicking the X so that it wouldn't show up, but that still is feedback that I opened it. So I was still getting not from those individuals, but I was still getting that kind of stuff, and I just didn't want to see it anymore. And I was talking to a friend of mine who's really smart in social media, and she said, search for the things you like and watch and interact with those things, and that'll take the place of the other. So I have to go out on social media to do my posts and to interact with my groups and the people that I interact with. And then if I'm going to be on social media, I started searching on puppies and kittens because I love baby animals. And so now a lot of my reels and a lot of my feed, if it's not the people that I want to interact with, it's all these adorable videos of puppies and their puppy noises and kittens and playing and rolling around and little babies, and that makes me smile instead of making me cringe at what I can't necessarily change out in the world right now. So that's one way. I've also kind of stopped watching the news. Um, Years ago, my mentor, Paul Marnelli, told me, he was telling all of us, the news isn't like it was when I was growing up. It, the news isn't just a reporting of what's going on, it's skewed. It's got the opinions of the reporter, it's got the opinions of the anchor, it's got the opinions of the station. And so I don't watch the news anymore because I know not only am I not getting the whole story, but I'm getting it skewed one side or the other. And the one thing I have found that I will check on is it's called 1440, and it's just articles, little snippets on the news of the last 24 hours. And there's no opinions, there's no skewingness. There's links to articles in other places so you can go in if you want more information, but it's kind of like the old Walter Cronkite days. I'm aging myself, where they just gave you the details. Now, there is a possibility that there's some skew here because I don't exactly know unless they gather, they look at all the news sources and bring it in. It seems to be very factual and non-partisan, non-promotional, non-side, which is what I want. I'm an adult. I'm I'm confident in my choices, and so I want to be able to read facts and make opinions for myself. Now, when it comes to things like vaccinations, public policy, there are certain things that I'm not an expert in. So I rely on experts to help guide me. So I would want a nice, well rounded thing to look through. But I also want to know that I am getting the information that I need to make the best choice for me and my family. So, social media and the news and television, I mean, I love the humor of The Daily Show. I don't watch it anymore because it takes me down that rabbit hole of yuck, even if I think the humor is funny. I I used to watch nighttime television. I don't much anymore because, again, everything right now is politics, and I need to be informed so I can make my own decisions on what I believe politically. But I don't need it in my face 24/7, and I don't need everybody's jokes and skews and everything else. Does that mean I want them shut down? No, it just means I am choosing not to watch and to participate. And that's something I think we've kind of lost how to do. So part of self-care can be saying, I'm not going to participate in that right now. And I kind of go with what I was raised with, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I don't engage. Now, does that mean I don't have an opinion on what's going on and that I'm not concerned about what's going on and that I don't want to interact with what's going on? No, it just means I'm going to be very selective in how I do that. And regardless of what side you're on, you need to think about what's the best ways you can make the difference that you want to make. And if you are looking to make a difference, which most of us want to feel we've made a difference in the world, we do need to take care of ourselves so that we can make that difference, however that looks, whatever that approach means. So, what are some things that you've been wanting to do that you thought you couldn't do because it was too much time, too expensive, too this, too that? How can you take what you're being called to do to give you some peace and break it up into small chunks? You know, one of the things my dad used to do was draw and paint. And, so he didn't sit there for hours and hours, but he would take little blocks of time during his day and he would start this drawing. He would, and he worked on it over time. Now, it skips generations, so I cannot draw. I can paint by number. I can do that. But there are times when I just need to sit down and doodle. And I love the coloring books for adults. They're very soothing. I can just sit down and, color a mandolin or color flowers, and it allows my mind to wander a little bit and to think about things that I don't allow myself time to think about when I'm trying to get through my normal day. What are some things you can do for you? Some of the things we should be doing for ourselves as self care is a healthy diet. Now, I am all for eating good, it's fundamental to good health. It helps you maintain a balanced mood and energy levels, but I also truly believe in eating what I like. And so there are times where dinner is a Blizzard from Dairy Queen. Do I do that all the time? No. But there are times where my body's not craving that, but my mind is craving that. That's soothing, that comfort food. So eat healthy, but don't deprive yourself of the things that you know that would make you feel a little bit better. Just everything in moderation, right? You know, sometimes we forget about moderation. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to close this out, and don't go away.
Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness: Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality? But it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating. Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like, it was almost instant. Like, I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're having a great Wednesday, and I hope you're getting value out of the show. We're talking about some self-care activities, and here's probably one of the biggest ones is asking for help. Many of us don't ask for help. We either don't know how to ask for help, we don't feel it's okay to ask for help, we don't want to bother other people. Here's something I've learned during my lifetime is that when people, how do I say this? When someone reaches out to ask for help from me, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel that they're comfortable in my presence and that they can ask for help from me. It allows me to do something for someone else that I might not do on my own because I was asked. And it allows me to feel good about being of service to someone. So when you say I don't want to bother anyone, it's not most of the time, unless like you're taking advantage of people and asking all the time when it's not necessary. But most of the time, you're giving that gift of allowing someone to be of service, because most of us as humans want to be of service to other people. And I was raised, we help. Both sides, both my family and my husband's family. If You cook the meal, you don't clean it up. Holiday meals, we've kicked mom out of the kitchen and everybody else is doing dishes, cleaning the turkey, cleaning up behind things, doing the dishes, getting the tables cleared off. Because that's how we were raised. We were raised to step in, to help, to be of service. And I love that feeling of knowing that something I've done for someone, even something super small, has had a big effect, or even a small effect, but it's had an effect. It served a purpose. So, but I also grew up not, my parents didn't ask for much help, not that we saw. And my in-laws didn't ask for much help, not that we saw. They might have, but we didn't see it. It wasn't an obvious thing. And they were of the generation where you just suck it up, buttercup, and take care of it. And during my lifetime, I've had many reasons I've needed to ask for help. And I have been super blessed to have such a wonderful support system that when I ask for help, I receive it. And part of what I'm doing now is trying to pay that forward. And part of paying that forward is learning to ask for and receive help gracefully and with gratitude. Because we don't get anywhere or accomplish anything on our own, even when it feels like we're on our own, we're not. So we need to have the grace to acknowledge and accept the help and support of people that truly want to help. Give them that gift, allow them to help. And a lot of times, that doesn't mean they get the shit jobs. Give them the real jobs. Give them the things that you really need help with. And I found over the years, one of the things I really needed help with was accepting help, asking for and accepting help. And it got to a point where I had no option. And people stepped out of the woodwork to give me love and support and help me with the things I was struggling with. And I know most people don't have that. And so that's what I'm doing. That's where I'm going, is I am paying forward the help and love and support that I've received over my lifetime to others. And the way I do that is I just find out what they need help with and I try to help. And I try to support them. And that's kind of what this show has been about, is being a place where people can come for support, even a little bit. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. And I will see you next week. Have a good one.
This has been Loving Life's Journey with your host, Linda Wilson. From the laughter of children to the wisdom of elders, from the thrill of new adventures to the comfort of cherished traditions, Loving Life's Journey is your invitation to revel in the beauty of everyday miracles and the love that surrounds us all. So tune in, be inspired, and remember to cherish every step of this incredible journey called life. Here on Loving Life's Journey,